Yo, yo, yo. um, yeah, just getting on out of here. Getting out of here. That's it's kind of like the theme of my video. But, yeah, I just got out of a thing I didn't want to really be in. um, it's just funny. I need to talk because I need to get this out of my system because it's awkward, kind of awkward, I guess. But yeah, it was awkward, but anyway, not that big of a deal. They had this thing at school called it was celebrating women leaders, and of course I'm not against women. I mean, that would be absolutely insane. How could anyone be against women? What? It's half the population. That's God's creation. How could he be against women, right? No, I'm not against women. I'm not against women in leadership. No. But I didn't have any interest in the event. I just didn't have any interest. And so, and my friend who we usually get lunch and stuff, and I was like, I didn't realize that the event took place during when we usually go to lunch. And so I just messaged her. I was like, lunch? And she's like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm over at that thing. And as I was buying my food, she was like, there's food over here, And I was like, oh shoot. I already bought a cheeseburger I didn't need, and they had free Subway, which I probably wouldn't have been able to eat anyway, but some chips and all this other stuff. Actually, it ended up going really well because I needed to eat that cheeseburger because I wouldn't have had anything of substance otherwise that I would have liked myself. But so I went over there and sat with her, my friend, in the middle of the talk or the meeting or whatever it was. It wasn't a meeting. It was they had a panel, and there's a mediator, and I was just looking at this whole thing. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm not trying to be a hater, and I'm actually not a hater at all. I'm just looking at it going this is kind of a joke. This is kind of a joke. And it's okay, we're all here, and why? It's oh, well, we're supporting women leaders. It's okay. And, well, we're going to hear from them. They're going to speak. Okay. Well, what are they going to say? Oh, well, they're just going to... It's okay. None of it really, added up for me or made a lot of sense. It was just kind of everybody's just talking and saying their things and stuff and I am super empowered by these people, and I don't know what I would do without these people. And I'm not trying to hate on them or anything like that. I'm just saying that after a while it got to the point where it was pretty painful, because it was basically and you're awesome, and you're awesome, and you're awesome, and I'm awesome, and then they start crying, and then the other people point at them and you're awesome too, and they're oh, and it was just back and forth, I love you, we love each other, oh my gosh, and I was so what are you supposed to do? And everybody in the crowd around me, they're yay! I'm this is ridiculous. This is such a weird thing to be a part of. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Come on. What are you guys doing? And the big thing I've noticed, from a lot of, these people are they're college age, they're early 20s, I don't want to say they're not that smart, but they're not that, they're young. That's all I can say. They're just younger. So they don't really know. They don't have a lot of life experience, is what I'm saying. They don't have a lot of life experience. And so they're trying to do their thing, and they're getting there, and it's all looks different, and it's cool. It's okay, just do whatever you think you need to do. go whichever way you think you need to go, things like that. But I don't know. I just, to me, it's like when it comes to doing stuff, it doesn't seem like there's much organization or much clarity of thought or much, oh, this is what I'm doing. Or it's like, hey, I'm from this group and today we're here to talk about this, and, or today, we're doing this. It's like, instead of something like that, it becomes very bureaucratic. It's very like, I represent the panel of this organization and amongst these people, and we like to advocate for this, and this person is such a good advocate, and I just appreciate, like, it's like, I can't even mimic it, thankfully. I'm thankful that I can't mimic what it was that I experienced there. But it was just like a lot of gobbledygook, like, in the way people were saying things and the way that they were going on about things, and like, this was all like, it was like basically an emotion fest. And it's like, okay, that's fine, you have your emotions, that's great, everybody has emotions. But when it got to the point where they were basically all patting each other on the back, I was just like, you guys just are doing everything wrong. Like, you guys are doing it wrong. I guess that's what I would say. But you can't say that, because who are you to tell somebody else they're doing it wrong? And who am I? Who am I to tell them that they're doing stuff wrong? But anyway, I'm just thinking, like, dude, you guys, like, come on. Like, you really want to get stuff done? Like, this is not the way to do it. You don't just sit up here and talk about how wonderful everyone is. I mean, that's great, and you're supposed to love and respect your peers, yes, and thank them and make them feel appreciated and stuff. But I just feel like there should be more substance. There should be more substance behind. It's like, if you want to get something done, you've got to actually be doing something. And I mean, and they're all doing different things and stuff. They're doing whatever different project or engagement thing that they're running or something like that. But I just can't help but see, I just can't help but feel that a lot of it is very empty and a house of cards, really, and shallow, and like, there's not a lot of strength behind it. There's not a lot of substance. There's not a lot of, I think the biggest one is there's just not a lot of substance behind it. And I just feel like if you want to get something done, you have to plan it out, and you have to make sure it gets done. And I mean, yes, they are leaders, but it's like, where are they leading everyone? Nobody knows. And anyway, again, I'm not trying to be on here and going like on a tangent, like of a hate spiel or anything like that. I'm just saying it was very like, I was like, I almost feel bad for you in a way. You guys are all cute, it's nice. You guys got your little panel and everything, and you're telling everybody how great each other is, and going back and forth and thanking people in the crowd and everything like that. But like, it's a lot of identity politics. That's another thing. It's identity. It's very identity based, right? And it's like, well, as a black woman, or as a gay woman, or as a white woman, or as a trans woman, or as a woman, something woman. It's just like, dude, why can't you guys get past who and what you are and just tell us what you're here to tell us? Like, instead it seems like everything, and that's the way the whole like DEI side of things is. It's so fixed on identity and diversity and inclusion. And it's like, well, those things sound really great, but people don't realize that there is a bad version of that, and that there is a negative side to that. People think there can't be anything negative about diversity. Diversity is always good, And it's like, well, no, not necessarily. It's not always good. Because you have to have unity. You have to have some kind of, Anyway, I guess it just kind of annoys me that people don't recognize the bad sides of things, and they just act like everything is always good no matter what. It's irrefutably infinitely good, and it's like, no, it's not irrefutably infinitely good. It has its downsides, and I don't know. I guess I think I'm a little frustrated and annoyed with the movements of like the organizations and the different. It's just lame. I just feel like, dude, stop being kids. Like, grow up is what I want to say. I want to be like, just grow up. Like, this is what you're gonna do. You should have done this in high school and gotten this out of your system. But instead, here you are in college, and you're acting like this is gonna be your profession. And it's like, one of the questions was, what roles of leadership do you see yourself in? And most everybody was basically like, I don't know. He's like, I don't really know, you know? And it's like, so you don't even know. So you don't even know where you're trying to go, or like, you know? But, no, it was just frustrating. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was getting ready to leave, and I was like, oh, this is so awkward. I'm sitting in the middle of everyone. If I get up and leave, it's going to be obvious, and it's going to be one of those things like, there's going to be too much attention on me to get up and leave. And luckily it ended very shortly after. And I came in towards the tail end of it, so I didn't catch the whole thing anyway. But just what I did see was kind of like, but yeah, it did seem very immature to me. I think a lot of people's interests and a lot of people's positions are unfortunately very immature. It's like it makes me sad that people don't have deeper. That people don't have better things to be, that they don't have better things to support. It's like, instead of supporting something really good, like, I don't know, changing the world in some kind of way. And the problem is like that whole subject, that whole sphere is mostly related to liberal type ideas that are like, you know, whatever, like gender equality, like racial discrimination, DEI, gay rights, things like that. It's like, instead of, there's so many other things in this world to support and to make the world a better place with, instead of just those things. And it's just like, you guys are the most predictable one-trick ponies of all time. You keep saying the same things again and again. And I just feel like you guys are in college, so maybe you should have your stuff together more, or maybe you should have a better idea about what you're doing and things like that. Because it just, you know what I'm saying? It just felt really empty, and just like, kind of, well, you know, we're all just here to support each other, and this person has been so helpful and kind. And it's true. A lot of them are very helpful and kind, yes, but at the same time, there's just so much substance missing. And it's like, sitting around talking about how great everybody is not a good idea. Like, come on, like, give me a break. Stop celebrating. You know what I mean? Like, it's great to celebrate each other, for sure. It's great. It's great to be celebrated. It's great to get recognition. But there is such a thing as too much. There is such a thing as, okay, we get it. And okay, when are you guys going to be done? Because apparently you have everything. You have so many things to say, and you're never going to be done saying them. Anyway, this is just like kind of like a rant video, but yeah, I just kind of needed to vent a little bit from it, because it just made me sad. No, it didn't really. Yeah, it did make me sad a little bit, because I wish things were better, and I wish people had better things to support. I wish they had higher goals, or I wish they were more aware of things, making the world a better place. But not in the same regurgitated, washed up way that has been done for so long and is not even that good. You know? Anyway. Let's sit here for a minute and see if I got anything else, any other thoughts to kind of share on this topic. I guess one of the things that kind of annoys me is the double standard. That is a big part of their a lot of these agendas that are, they stand for freedom. They're supposed to, according to them, they say they are. They stand for diversity. They stand for inclusion. But it's like, there is no white club. There is no man club. There's no male club. And one side of it is there's no need for us to have a club. Like, we don't want a club. Like just leave us alone. And everybody else wants a club. Everybody else needs a club. Everybody needs a support group. It's like, just grow up. Just grow up and deal with things. Just be an adult and grow up, you know? And if you try to say anything pro-man or pro-white people, you'd immediately get shut down. You get, you know, it would become awkward. It would be like, and everyone would stop and look at you like, what did you just say? You know? I just don't like the double standards. And, yeah. I just wish things were better. I just wish things could be better. They can be better. They will be better, but yeah, I just wish things were better. I just wish people weren't just like so. And the other thing is everything I've said here is impossible to say in and anywhere remotely near the kind of people I'm talking about. It's just not in that atmosphere. It's impossible to share this kind of a sentiment at all. It's impossible to even have this conversation. It's not impossible, because I do it in certain ways, but it's just frustrating because it's like they're all about inclusion, they're all about diversity, and then as soon as you have a different idea than them, they start feeling attacked. They start feeling triggered. They start saying like, "Oh my gosh, I just need a safe space. Like, you're violating me. I don't feel comfortable anymore." Things like that. And it's like, "Oh my gosh. Like, you can't handle critical thought. You can't handle other people's opinions. You can't handle other thoughts than your own. Like, give me a break." I mean, different thoughts. Thoughts that are not of the same line of thinking as yours. It just makes me feel like you can't really think outside the box. And I think this is going to sound pretty... I probably won't get very much support or love from this phrase or this next sentiment I'm going to share. But I am going to say it anyway. I honestly think that this is one of the reasons why there aren't a lot of women leaders, because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to lead. It takes principles. It takes conviction. It takes dedication. It takes a lot. And I don't think that women are naturally good leaders. I just don't think they're naturally good leaders. I think that, and that's why you don't see a lot of women leaders. And they'll argue and say, well, it's because of oppression. It's because of systematic racism and systematic oppression and all this stuff. It's like, no, it's not because of that. I mean, I'll give you that it's just not been that way is kind of one of the reasons why it's not that way. But like the trend, I'll give you that trends point in the other direction. But I just don't think that there's like women who who want to be leaders, a lot of times they come across as like, well, we have to overcome. We have to overcome. And well, it's like you're coming from the wrong angle. Like you should never even start from that perspective at all. You should never try to come from a disadvantaged mindset. You should never claim weakness. You should never claim disadvantage. Whether it's true or not, you shouldn't claim it. And a lot of them really overcompensate. They feel like they have to compensate for something they lack. And honestly, one of the things they lack is experience in leadership. And well, they lack a lot of things. But there's a reason why there's more male leaders than female leaders. And I'm not saying it's wrong to be a female leader. I'm just saying that there's a reason why there aren't a lot of female leaders. And women definitely tend more on the emotional side. And that's fine. I'm not saying women are bad because they fall on the emotional side too much. But I am saying that you can't be too emotional as a leader. And, I mean, not even to get into politics, not even to get into, like, the liberal side of things. But, like, seriously, I mean, like, when they brought Kamala Harris out as a presidential candidate, like, that's the best they could do. That's pretty bad. And they have all the horrible tactics anyway. The tactics that are, identity politics and empty promises and lies about things. But anyway, I'm getting into a tangent here. I don't want to go off too far. And I need to get going anyway. But it's just really frustrating because it's just like, oh my gosh, you guys are poisoning the well. You're poisoning the well. Just leave it alone. I'm not saying don't try. I'm not saying you can't be a woman leader. But seriously, let's just stop having these parties where we just all are just celebrating each other and thanking each other like that. It's just like, it's too much. It's too much. What's the word? It's too much celebration of yourself. It's like, do you really need that much applause? Do you really need that much of a pat on the back? Do you really need a ribbon and a medal for everything? You don't get one just for being whatever you are. You have to earn it. And I just wish there was more sense. I just wish there was more sense in the crowd, that's all. But anyway, this will probably get, I don't know. This will get some hate maybe. Either way, I'm not really worried about it. It's just, I'm not trying to be like a negative Nancy. I'm just trying to like share my thoughts and like, I'm just trying to talk about this because it made me uncomfortable. So no, it's just like, it's annoying. That's all. And I think that we should not just go along with things and act like, oh, everything is great. This is such a great thing. It's indisputable how great this is. It's like, no, it's disputable. We should at least talk about it. If you're not willing to talk about the fact that it might not be great, then, you're not really being that honest. So, anyway.